What is the most anti-fragile sport, the most anti-fragile activity that a person can engage in? And by anti-fragile, I mean preparing us for what life throws at us in the future, when things happen to us, if we have to carry a heavy load, if we have to walk through the airport carrying a couple heavy suitcases, if you suddenly have to run away from a lion chasing you, or a loose dog, or a mouse appears and you have to jump over it, whatever scares you. If someone pushes you on purpose or accidentally and you get thrown off balance and you have to adjust yourself and stabilize yourself and regain your balance, all kinds of things happen in life that you're not expecting, that you need to perform some kind of athletic feat to protect yourself, right? So how do we prepare for that? Well, we have to keep our bodies strong, flexible, cardiovascularly fit. We have to have mobility, we have to have balance, we have to have brain, hand-eye coordination, all of the above. And the way we do that is through activities and sport and working out, things like that. So what gives us the best chance to get there? Welcome back to Anti-Fragile Living. Lately I've been inspired by, as I age myself, as I go through my 50s, and think about health and fitness, which is of course part of being anti-fragile. Some people inspire me that I see online or see in person. So recently I was at a Rolling Stones concert, and of course Mick Jagger is just a force of nature. He's just turned 81, I believe, running around on stage singing, moving fluidly, moving like with the grace and fluidity of a 40-year-old. His voice sounds good. His mental sharpness seems great. So he's an amazing athlete, really. Another guy I've been binging on YouTube lately, Tony Ruggia, the I Am Longevity channel. I'll put a link to that in the description of this video. This guy is amazing too. You have to check him out. He's, I don't know, early 60s, but he moves like a 30-year-old. It's incredible, the things he can do athletically and what the body is capable of. And there's another guy I talked about, I think in one of my other videos on my channel. I think his name is Jose Jacinto. I think I might have got that wrong, but I'll check that. He's a CrossFitter. He's over 80 years old himself, and walks to the gym like 2 miles, does these incredible CrossFit workouts, walks back home, keeping himself in incredible shape. So these are people that inspire me. So I started thinking about what are the most anti-fragile activities that one can engage in. Again, preparing yourself to be anti-fragile in the future. So I kind of thought of these sports, I kind of put them into 3 different categories. There's not very good, there's pretty good, and there's great. And of course, any activity is better than none usually. So anything is better than sitting on your couch or sitting behind your desk. But there's definitely, obviously, some sports are better than others. And there might be a couple surprises. Some things you might think are great are not. So if we think of it in those terms, we're talking about activities that work your body, your heart, your lungs, your brain, your coordination, your emotional well-being even, right? Your whole body. So, all right, the ones that aren't so great, but still better than nothing. I mean, you could talk about quasi-sports like darts, right? You're just standing and throwing a dart at a dartboard many times in a bar. That's not going to get you much. Obviously, you could probably guess that's not the best sport. Bowling isn't very good. You're taking 3 steps and throwing a 16-pound ball, and you're only doing it with one arm. So, again, better than nothing, but bowling is pretty low on the list. You got things like golf, which is probably a little better, but essentially you're still just walking a couple steps. Many times you're taking a cart. If you're carrying your own clubs for 18 holes or more, then you're burning some calories, that's for sure. You're still just swinging a club. So I think if you're walking, carrying clubs, obviously that'll put you higher on the list. If you're just taking a cart in golf and swinging the club a few times, that's pretty low. Now, let's look at some better ones. You might think walking might be near the top, and I think walking is great. And maybe if you're, 75, 85, 90 years old, maybe walking is the best sport for you, because what's more human, what's more important than being able to walk around, and it might be the one with the least impact on you. So we have to look at impact also. What are the downside risks to this sport? It's a good segue right now to talk about American football and things like rugby, right? You might think, okay, American football, these guys are, you have to be super strong and super quick at many positions, and maybe if you're quarterback, some accuracy, and obviously you have to have some skills if you're a wide receiver or defensive back, that sort of thing. But I think that the downside risk of injury is so great with football, and I'm assuming rugby. I don't know a ton about rugby. I don't watch a lot of it, but obviously your knee can get blown out. You can get concussions. So just based on the downside risk to these sports, I would put them in the, not the worst category. If you can get out unscathed, it's probably, a great sport to be in. But if you play high school and college football and professional football, chances are you're not going to be healthy into your 80s. You're just not. So I would put that further on the list. Again, same with rugby and those type of sports. The best ones, I think there's, I'm not going through every sport in the world here, but you can kind of draw your own conclusions based on this list. But the best 3 or 4, I think, tops are really, they're close to being tied for one another, are things like tennis. So this is low impact. You have to have a lot of burst. Not always bursting, but you're moving. You're using your arms. You're using your legs. You're never sure where the ball's going to come. And there's some anticipation. Sometimes you kind of know. If you're playing with someone and you're just hitting it back and forth, that's not as good. If you're going, and this is why when I play tennis, my wife and I play a lot. I almost always insist, okay, we can hit the ball for a while, but we got to play some games, because if I'm not playing a game, I'm just not, I'm just not like going all out and like just almost diving for points and just using every short burst muscle in my body to get these points. And so you're torquing, you're moving in ways that are unexpected, that are random. You have to have there's got to be a sense of randomness in this sport to really just like throw your body off and make it adjust to, again, what's going to come at you in the future. So you don't want to have just repetitive things where you anticipate everything. So tennis is awesome. Soccer is another one I think is super high on the list. You're running almost the whole game. Some of it's just running back and forth, and then of course there's different times where you have to do short bursts and just sprinting all out and using your body. Obviously there's a lot of coordination with your feet, your legs, your body, and not so much your upper body. So maybe it's not top on the list, but it's definitely, if it's not first, it's 1A on this list. I think hockey / field hockey, I don't know that much about field hockey either, but I know about ice hockey a little bit just from watching it. I haven't played it, but that's one where you're constantly on the move, and again, short bursts. You're using your legs and your arms a bit there, because you have to hold the stick and shoot. So there's a lot of coordination. There's teamwork. You're thinking about where people are going. So there's a mental aspect to it as well, a teamwork aspect, which I like. Soccer has that also. Tennis doesn't have that, but soccer, hockey, and for me, number one, but really these all could be tied, but number one I'll say is basketball. Basketball uses your whole body. I mean, obviously you're running, so you're using your legs. It's similar to soccer, where you're using bursts of activity. You're jumping, you're running, you're going back and forth, torquing, twisting, you're boxing out, you're using your arms to kind of push off on people. You're shooting a ball, which takes very good hand-eye coordination, some skill. You're always in a different position. When you're driving, you're shooting from different angles. So, and there's a team aspect to this, kind of a social teamwork aspect. You always have to think, one step ahead. Where are these guys going? Where they're going to flow to? How they're going to defend me? What's the score, position, part of the game? You know, what are the conditions? So I think it's a great sport that uses body and mind. So those four I put on the top. Now, having said that, you can't just play one sport. If you want to be truly, I think truly as anti-fragile as possible, play as many as you can. I played an hour and a half of tennis today, and I'm out walking after that, and I'm gonna go hike the Grand Canyon next month. So, I wish I could play in a basketball league. I should try to find like an over 50 league. I used to play basketball in my youth. I loved it, but I do a bit of running. I do CrossFit. I think I mentioned that in another video, and hope to post some updates on my CrossFit journey later. But that is a great activity. I don't know if you call it a sport, but I go 3 or 4 times a week to a CrossFit class where we're lifting weights or using our own body as resistance and doing some cardio. So I try to mix up every kind of sport I can. I mean, if you think about when you're a kid, maybe the best activity would be like playing tag on the beach or playing frisbee on the beach, where people are coming at you. You have to zigzag that way, this way, and that, and your surface is uneven. You're in the sand, so you're never sure where you're pushing off from, and you have to use every little micro muscle in your ankles and your legs. Maybe you're diving into the water and some swimming, things like that. So if you can think about being a kid again and doing all kinds of sports and being active, and without injury, you don't want to get injured or you ruin the whole experiment. But as much as you can do, given your age and health, as much as you can move, lift, run, these are the best activities and sport to keep us as anti-fragile as possible in the future. What do you guys think? Have you done some of these? Did I miss some that you think are like top tier? I'd love to hear your comments and where you are in your fitness journey and what you think is the most beneficial for your health in the future. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe. Helps me out a lot. I love to hear the comments. I will respond to them, most of them at least. So thank you for watching. See you in the next video.